Good morning, Andrew and Julie. It's great to see you guys. Thanks for joining us today. Now, Andrew, you're a Kiwi from Napier, but together, Andrew and Julie, you have formed this incredible international organisation called Captivating. Tell us a little bit about how that came to be.
Well, hi Leanne and hi Papsda Church. It's been about 4 years, I think, since we saw you, maybe 3 years, I think. How did it start? Well, we really wanted to spend the second half of our lives helping the world. I think, we grew up as Christians from -9 months, and you get to a point where saying, we're accumulating all this stuff in the world and it's actually all about stuff for us. And that just didn't seem right as Christ followers. So we really felt moved to invest in helping children of the world. So we made a big change at the age of 40 and Captivating started.
Tell us a little bit about Nepal and why you started working in Nepal. What was the interest there?
We heard about the horrors of human trafficking that was occurring there, and it's one of the greatest things that is happening around this world even today is slavery and the use of people. And so that was just terrific to us, and so we started to work with an organisation over there that was combating this and getting involved in really making a difference, and that was something that was huge in our hearts. And we felt that we really need to come alongside the girls who are vulnerable and at risk. And in Nepal, that was a huge thing.
As a church family, we agreed to partner with you to stop trafficking. And since then, we've sent you $60,000. And it's incredible to know, and for most people here at Papsda today, this will be the first time they're hearing it, but there are nearly 2,000 girls who have been intercepted, 2,000 girls who have not ended up in a brothel because of the funding that Papsda people have sent to you guys. And that's something that we are incredibly grateful to be able to partner with you on. And thank you for giving us that opportunity. Now, we are only one of 11 border crossing stations that you guys find the funding for. And ours is at a place called Nepal, which is at a busy bus station. People are getting on and off buses. They're about to cross the border between India and Nepal. Can you just help us understand, how is it that the staff, the team who are working there, actually know that somebody is being trafficked? And can you tell us a little bit about the difference that Papsda has made to the lives of people in the last 3 years?
The first stage is that they will pull aside anyone that looks suspicious, which means, it's way more than the 7 to 8 girls a day. They're the ones that they can't answer some specific short questions. And usually those questions are, where are you going? And if they don't have a specific answer, then they will sit there and say, okay, we need to invest more time in an in-depth interview. So the challenge that we have here is that the girls are invariably going across to India because they say that they've got a job, and yet they can't give any details of those jobs. So immediately the risk factors go up in that, and they're pulled aside. So in many cases also, of course, they're there accompanied by what is invariably the trafficker. And so in many cases, if the girl is looking suspicious, you've got this trafficker hovering around in the background. And this is where the police involvement is so important. So everything that happens at your border station is very much done in cohort with the police. So the police will be then pulled in and involved to try and look at then interviewing the trafficker if that is the case and gets to that levels of seriousness. In many cases, the trafficker isn't there. There has been some sort of a handoff where, 10 minutes before they get to the bus station, he says, look, just go to this bus station, here's your ticket, go across, you'll be meeting this person who will then take you from there. And that's part of the handover process. And again, that's some proof that you have that, okay, there's something fishy going on here, let's be cautious about it.
So tell us, if a girl does make it across the border and she does end up in a brothel, I mean, obviously the guy who gets her there is making a substantial amount of money, and that's why he's doing it. But tell us, maybe Julie, what does that mean for a girl who ends up in a brothel?
They've been put into a situation where they are serviced and abused by 30 to 40 different men a day. And so they're in a situation that they are just in complete hopelessness and a vulnerability. There is no dignity, there is no self-worth. and they're just used and abused. So yeah, it's not a good situation, and unfortunately when that does happen, it is very, very difficult to get these girls back out again and actually rescue them. So interception and prevention of that is the key focus.
So very often most often a girl does believe that she is going to a legitimate job though. She thinks she's going to be a waitress or to work for as a nanny or do something like that. She generally has no idea what's going on.
And for that reason, in many cases, the girls are really mad at the fact that they've been stopped at your station. So they will sit there and say, you are standing in the way of me actually moving forward in my life. So that's why none of this is taken lightly. The girls that are intercepting them and the team, they know that this is a serious thing. So no one is stopped just because it's a fun thing to do. They know how serious an issue this is for the girls, so they want to make the right decision. But of course, they're acting as like the surrogate parents of that girl. And they're saying, if you're my daughter, there's no way I'm going to let you through based on what you cannot tell us. There are situations clearly where girls are rescued out of brothels, and this is a part that we haven't talked about yet, but certainly that your branch there at Papsda is involved with. So I think if we've looked at the stats here in terms of what's happened since you've been involved in this program this last 3 years, over 32 women in fact, have literally been rescued out of brothels. Now this is a very expensive and time-consuming activity. These are girls that have already been trafficked, so they've been there's some tip-off that's been mentioned that there's a girl that's literally enslaved and working against her will in a station or a brothel.
There is the girls who are being intercepted and not ending up in brothels, and then the girls who are being rescued. And we're incredibly grateful as a church to be able to be a part of that. But what else do you need? What are things looking like at the moment? How can we help?
Well, you guys are helping an incredible amount, as we've just talked about. 2,000 girls intercepted since you started with us 3 years ago. We naturally want to see that continue. These are real lives that we're talking about that, it just means the world to them. So for us to continue that is the most important thing. We have the same challenge you do. We're all in the same boat in terms of trying to finance these operations to make them happen. I guess for us, there's different ways that we can go about this. We have a new event coming up, which we think could be something that would be of interest to the Papsda community. It's certainly happening throughout the whole world, and it's called our Stop Trafficking 5K. And this is a way that we're raising funds specifically for the work we've just talked about. And we're trying to look at different ways that people can raise funds without hammering the same old thing all the time, which gets very draining after a few years.
Look, I've had a bit of a look at your website. I've signed up. I think it looks fantastic. I am keen to increase my fitness and to be a team. We're going to talk a little bit more about that at Papsda, and very keen to get involved. Why is there more human trafficking in Nepal than we would see, for example, in New Zealand? Why does this happen? You've told us in the past that there are entire villages where every girl aged between 8 to 22 is gone. They've been trafficked.
It just comes back to poverty. So, there's poverty everywhere in the world, just like there is trafficking everywhere in the world, in every country. But Nepal has this horrible blend of, so many people in not just poverty, but abject poverty, absolute poverty, where they will sit there in a village, especially when you have calamities like the earthquake and what is happening now with COVID, where things have been in lockdown for so many weeks. The levels of desperation are just getting worse and worse for the poor. And there's no safety net of the government like we experience in New Zealand or Australia. So they are literally forced to make the decision, do I remain in the village and starve to death, or do I take a risk and find a job? And of course, they really have no choice but to take that risk, because they live in hope that, of course, the job offer that they've just been told about could actually be legitimate. So that's I think, the really big difference. You have some other things that make it more complex, such as as Julie mentioned before, the caste system and things like that. So the status of women in some of those lower castes, it's that, the expectation is that you are going to be living a life where you service men. So when you have that mindset, and that's what you've been growing up with, it just happens.
It's hard, yeah.
For a girl who's been rescued, they're really messed up. Just imagine what that would be like. and they need help. So these girls, when they come through, are generally they require a lot more follow-up and hands-on counselling. So they'll typically go to some sort of safe house. We have, with our program partner there, we have a place called Women's Safe Haven. And these rescued victims could be there for upwards of 12 months, getting counselling support and to be retrained so that they can actually at some point rejoin society and look after themselves. So they'll be trained in sewing or some sort of craft that they can start generating income instead of being lured back into trafficking.
I would assume that trafficking is probably something that's always going to be with us, but how do we get a handle on this? How do we keep people safe? How do we stop things like this happening?
Yeah, that's a good question. One of the things that Nepal are doing at the moment is going into schools, into the police, into the army, and they've created a communication and behavioural interactive tool to actually speak to the school students and have an interactive time of learning about what human trafficking is, the consequences, the causes of it, and prevention, and actually raising awareness in the community to these children at school, teenagers, and to the army and to the police force to be aware of what is going on in Nepal and how to stop. So I guess this raising this awareness and this education for people to stand up and say this is wrong.
It's a significant program. So this is what we actually are very confident will change the future with regard to that. So if we think of the Papsda station alone, where the program will roll out, I think if you look at the numbers, 34 schools have had this program come to them, about 1 to 2 schools a month. Get the whole Papsda team there to actually go in and actually run this program into 75 students, and these students are hand-picked from the whole student body of the school. So we sort of see them as being future ambassadors for anti-human trafficking in Nepal. And it's a wonderful program. So it's won awards internationally. I mean, the team, Rajendra and the team, have been fantastic in it, even to the point that the local police and the local officials are wanting their teams of people to actually attend these programs and learn themselves. So we do believe that this is one of the key ways that we can actually start reducing the incidences of trafficking out of Nepal.
So it's fantastic to hear that this is being kind of dealt with at multiple levels, where you're educating, or the money that is being sent from here is being used to educate at schools and, you know, real grassroots levels, intercepting and also rescuing girls from brothels. Thank you for giving us the opportunity as a church family to be involved and to be connected and to really be making a difference in this world. And thank you to you guys. What you do is incredible and it's inspiring, and we look forward to hearing a little bit more from you guys over the next few weeks. We'll see you for now.
Right. Thank you, Leanna. Thank you, Papsda. Fantastic.
So much.